Hi everyone. I'm Rishikesh Bhaviskar, a third year student from the Department of Electrical Engineering. I'm contesting for the position of General Secretary of Academic Affairs UG. In my previous capacity, I was involved as a consult club manager at UGAC. And for the past 2 months, I have been doing groundworks with a lot of students, professors, and various other institute authorities, which has helped me understand the current needs and problems of the students from an academic point of view. I envision to improve and liberalize the academic environment by upgrading the existing frameworks and instituting new policies to aid students in achieving their goals and better their academic journey in the institute. Thank you.
Okay, so we would move on to the manifesto debate, which is the second part of the soapbox. I would like to invite the first question from the panel that they would like to ask. Asad,
Hello.
Adarsh, Hetvi, Ranjana, Rishabh, you able to hear us?
Hello, am I audible? This is Asad here.
Yes, Asad, you are perfectly
Yeah.
audible. Please start.
Yes. So I would like to ask about the point two under the key initiative section. Uh, it states to extend the foreign exchange dual degree program to facilitate research exchange with our partner institutes and provide international exposure to undergraduate students. So we already have a semester exchange program in place, and for it to be specifically to dual degree, you will have to do it perhaps in the second year, maybe one part of DDP in a partner institute, which would I think clash with their placement interests. So how do you see that developing?
Um, right. First, I would like to highlight a difference between the current semester exchange and what I am proposing. So the current dual degree foreign exchange dual degree program that I am proposing, it would have the first phase of the dual degree project. The students will be working under a professor from the partner university, and the second phase they would be working under a co-guide from the IIT Bombay in the second phase. And at the end of 5 years, they would be getting a joint master's degree from that particular partner university because they spend their first phase of the DDP in our particular partner university. And this thing does not happen in the current semester exchange. The students do not get a joint master's degree. And secondly, answering the question regarding the placement, the timeline clashing with placements. So this program is majorly inclined towards the students who are more inclined toward higher studies or more inclined towards pursuing research as their career choice. And hence it has also been observed in the chemical department, which currently the chemical department has an MOU with the Washington University, where this is joint dual degree program is going on. And the students who have applied for it or who were selected for it, are the students who are majorly interested in pursuing research as their career choice. And hence it would be for the students who want to pursue higher studies or research in that particular university.
Rishabh here. So just to add on to what Asad said, so as you mentioned that it is already prevalent in our chemical department. So there is a faculty, specifically involved in this, organizing all this. So have you talked to anyone else regarding this in any other department who will be taking in charge of this, and how are you planning to implement across departments?
Right. Uh, so the plan of action for like basically we would have to sign MOUs with different partner universities because we are having a joint degree with that partner university. So I was able to figure out the three channels through which we can channelize this process or this foreign exchange dual degree program. The first of which is can be we can target the professors from a department who already are working in projects with the professor from foreign universities. The similar thing happened in Washington University, that a professor from IIT Bombay from chemical department was working with that particular professor from Washington University, and they came together, and then the department signed an MOU to have this joint dual degree program. So first channel can be this way, that we can target the professors from IIT Bombay who already are in like doing projects with professors in foreign universities. Second, when I spoke to the relevant authorities from the IR office, they mentioned that universities are quite interested in having research exchange. Like sometimes they even prefer semester exchange over they prefer research exchange over semester exchange, and hence they mentioned that we can also like explore the IR office route through which the IR office can strive for various MOUs where the research exchange can happen. And third thing, it might be a bit of a far-fetched thing, but we can also have students. If students can find some relevant guide who they want to work under in a particular partner university, then again, it's a bit tough. Again, this third channel can be a bit tougher, but we can go to the IR office to that particular university and then try to get an MOU from them. So I plan to like have these three channels through which the MOUs can be signed.
So just to have some more clarity on this. So from what I understand, there is already a proposal regarding dual degree internships for dual degree students in fourth year as well, which is in action and which has been going on for the past 3-4 years, right? And it has taken, let's say, 3-4 years for that proposal to be at a state where it can be introduced further. Do you think this is the right time for such a thing to take in place where you already have something in the pipeline? How do you see the feasibility of this actually implementing in your tenure?
Right. So answering to this question, that we currently like for dual degree internships, we did not have a precedence in IIT Bombay that previously like any department or uh, basically the Department of Energy Science and Engineering recently approved the dual degree internships by shifting the timeline, but there was no precedence for degree internships in the past years. But now for this particular proposal, we have a precedence through the chemical department by the Washington University MOU. And also, while talking to the people from IR office, they were also quite positive about this idea, and they would like to pursue this. So I think that these two, the precedents and the positive response from the IR office would help me achieve this point throughout my tenure.
Yeah, time is almost running out. We can allow just one last rebuttal and we can then move on to the next question. If there is anything. Okay, we move on to the next question. Dear panel members, please ask the next question.
Okay, so regarding your point, you mentioned in your manifesto that you will launch a dynamic Gymkhana calendar in which all the upcoming information about all the incoming activities and events will be mentioned. So why do you feel that there is a need of one such Gymkhana calendar when we already have InstiApp in place, where everybody could add their events of their respective department event of their respective bodies, and where students get the notifications beforehand, and still people from different bodies are not adding their events. It is not used extensively. So how would you ensure that even if you launch such Gymkhana calendar, that people use that calendar and that is being used?
Right. So the calendar that I'm proposing has two uses majorly. First of it is, as you mentioned, that the events are launched on the Insti app. So one of the purposes of this dynamic calendar is to make sure that the students in the institute have one consolidated platform or a resource where they can go and check what all things are currently happening in the institute. So it is similar to what Insti app has, but for the Insti app, like the student bodies, as you mentioned, the problem is that the student bodies not all the student bodies upload their events there. But what I plan to propose is that all the 6 G6 would work in collaboration in this, because it's a student Gymkhana initiative. All the 6 G6 would be working in collaboration to make sure this dynamic Gymkhana calendar is implemented. And secondly, answering the question that the need, and also the second benefit that I can think of is it would help the student bodies organize their events so that it is not clashing with the other student bodies. So basically, what I plan is that every student body would probably put up events 2 or 3 weeks before, like just a rough timeline about the events that they plan the plan of their events beforehand, so that the rest of the student bodies can plan accordingly and there are less clashes, which would help students like engage or attend more events during their stay or during the semester. So these are the two benefits that I can think of the current dynamic calendar. And one more thing that I'd like to add is that currently, if we see the academic calendar, there are proper mentioned dates for all the committee meetings, such as the UGPC meeting or the Senate meetings or the ARPC meetings. But similar thing is not present for the student gymkhana, for the SAC meetings, and hence I think that there is a need for uh, students should know that when the SAC meetings happen and what are the proceedings of the SAC meetings. And I think there needs to be formalization of the SAC meetings, and hence I feel that this could also be an added benefit of this dynamic gymkhana calendar.
Panel members, time is still left around 2 minutes. Do you want to ask a rebuttal question, or do you want to move on to next question?
I think we can move on to the next question.
Okay, please ask the next question, panel member.
Hi. So this question, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this question is regarding your point on ARPTAs. So I understand that you have written that you'll be combining buckets of courses together and having an ARPTA under them. So have you talked to any faculty as to how feasible this is, and would this actually be beneficial over the already existing system? And if so, then how?
Right. So yeah, so I spoke about this to a few of the faculty members who are involved with the DM program and the ARP program currently. So they mentioned that there's a need for formalizing this ARPTAs and having it all across the departments in a formal setting, because there has been a positive correlation which has been observed in the departments like chemistry, EP, and aerospace, where if we have a formal structure for ARPTAs, then the number of students who are in ARP has been subsequently decreasing. So hence the necessity for this particular proposal. And answering the question of course buckets, so I think I was discussing this with one of the professors from electrical engineering department, and they mentioned that there is a set of courses related to power, which is E114, which is in the first year. There is E238 in the second year, and there is E334 in the third year, which are related to power. And they thought that a person who would become who is quite proficient in the power domain would be able to cater to doubts of these three particular courses, and hence this idea of creating a bucket of courses for a particular domain.
Okay. So, but for this program to be useful, it has to be beneficial for students as well. So do you have you researched or have you done groundwork with the students suggesting that this would actually be helpful to students? And could you just elaborate more on that?
Right. So as I said earlier in my initial point, that there has been a positive correlation which has been observed in the departments like chemistry, EP, and aerospace, where the number of ARP students has been decreasing because of the nature of the ARPTAs or the formalization of ARPTAs in that particular departments. And the rest of the departments also have been trying to push for this ARPTA proposal, but they are currently the SMP team and the DM coordinators are trying to have a department specific approach. And what I plan to have is a top down approach, so that a recommendation or a guideline comes from the top administration, that every department should have an ARPTA and formalization of ARPTAs. That would help the students, and the need for the students, as I mentioned, has been is being shown by the positive correlation in the departments.
So, Rishikesh, do you know why in other departments such as chemical and electrical CS department, the ARPTAship program has not been approved yet?
Right. So one of the major, yeah, sorry. Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the major reasons that I was able, while doing the groundwork, I was able to identify that there is a funding issue that a lot of departments have, and not a lot of students are interested to take up the TA-ship if there is another incentives apart from the funding aspect. And hence, in my second point as well, I have written that I would look for avenues to generate funds for this, not generate, but take out funds for these ARPTAs, so that the students also who apply for these ARPTAships have some benefit or some incentive to or motivation to apply for this ARPTAship.
I think Rishabh's question was more like, why was the department not very enthusiastic about taking up this ARPTAship into their departments? So, yeah, from the student side, I think enthusiasm for TA-ship, taking up TA-ship is fine, but what about the faculty, the department, their department offices about this system?
Right. One basic problem that that I have found out while doing groundwork is that the professors say that there are already course TAs which are allotted to a particular course, and the department resources with respect to the funds and the manpower is already being invested on a particular course for these students, and they sometimes some of the professors also have help sessions for these students. But again, this is not uniform, and it is entirely up to the professor that do they want to have the help session or do they do not want to have the help session. And hence I feel that the departments are not more like the professors are not willing to have this because of the fact that they feel that the current need of these students is being satisfied by the course TAs that are already present. But I think that they need to be sensitized about the fact that the ARP students are not only facing the like problems from the academic point of view, but they have various other uh, non-academic problems that they are facing, and hence they also need coordination between the ARP mentor that these students have. And hence, I feel that there is a need for particular ARP TAs who would be working in coordination with the DM coordinators and the ARP mentors of these specific mentees.
Just to one last question on this, that ARP students already have their ARP mentors and they're also involved with their ARP FACAD. So don't you
Right.
think that if we introduce ARP TAs as well, there will be too much people involved with a single person, and he might feel hesitant. Already he has so much workload, there are lots of backlogs.
Right.
So there'll be too much people involved with a single student.
Correct. So basically, everyone has their roles defined for this. Like for what I'm proposing, that ARPTA has a role of teaching, helping the students from an academic point of view. The ARP mentor has an like helping the students from a non-academic point of view, and also looking into their academics if they are going fine or not. So what I'm proposing is not that not I'm not proposing front end thing. I'm just proposing that in back end, all these ARPTAs, the ARP mentors, and the ARP faculties and the DM coordinators are well coordinated so that they know that if like these four stakeholders are involved with a particular student, and if they are in on the same page, I think that it would help the student to get out of ARP. I'm not saying that they would like everyone would talk to that particular person. Everyone has their roles defined. They would be focusing on their roles itself. Such that they would be interacting from back end like in the absence of the particular student, so that like it's well coordinated and everyone every stakeholder is on the same page.
Okay, we will move on to the next question because the time has run. Dear panel members, would you like to ask the next question?
Okay, so my question is regarding your first point in the manifesto where you propose to start a interdisciplinary robotics minor. So I want you to elaborate on what was your groundwork regarding this. Please be specific about what are the who are the faculty members you approached, or which are the departments which you approached, and did you yeah, I mean, did you study the industry relevance of such a program and all that?
Right. So firstly, I'm not allowed to take names of the professors or the faculties who I approached to. I would take the names of the departments, if that's okay.
Yeah, that is okay.
Yeah, sure. So basically, what I am proposing is that I plan to have an interdisciplinary minor program in robotics, which would have courses from the departments of mechanical, SysCon, electrical, CSE, and aerospace. And I spoke to the relevant HODs and faculty members from all these departments, and they mentioned that there is a need for like okay, so they mentioned that this sounds like a good idea, and as robotics is a very interdisciplinary field, it cannot be run by a single department, and there has to be courses from different departments such as as I mentioned, the aforementioned departments. And while doing the groundwork, I also was able to figure out some of the courses and some of the relevant topics from each of the departments which would be relevant to the robotics minor. So I'd like to just highlight upon that. So from the CS department, we can have the courses from AI, ML, and embedded systems. From the electrical department, we can have courses from microprocessors and microcontrollers domain. For mechanical, we can have courses from the kinematics and dynamics of machines. In aerospace, we can have courses from the aerial robotics and related domains. And from SysCon, we can have mobile robotics and controls. So after talking to professors who are actually doing research in robotics, they mentioned that this sounds like a really good idea. And they also mentioned that interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary study is gaining the traction in the institute and the industry as well, because a lot of students and the professors as well are getting interested in like interdisciplinary research and interdisciplinary dual degree program as well from the student side. And robotics is one of the multidisciplinary fields like which has seen a positive growth in both industry and the academia. And to back this claim, I was checking out the various minor programs across like foreign universities, and I was able to find that this similar interdisciplinary minor program for robotics runs in three foreign universities: the Cornell, Johns Hopkins, and Georgia, like who have the similar departments that we have at IIT Bombay. And yeah, so I think.
Okay, so I'm asking this from the implementation perspective. So you must have, I believe you must have studied how C-Minds started their program and what was the motivation behind it. And I believe a similar process or similar motivation should be for such a robotics minor as well. So how do you think you're going to go ahead with proposing such a program?
Right. So I'll just highlight upon the structure that I currently have in mind, and then I would like to tell you what I'm planning to, how I'm planning to propose this, and what my groundwork related to that was. So first thing, the structure would be, as you mentioned, would be similar to the data science and AI minor, which is currently being offered by C-Minds, which would have a set of, which has a set of minor core courses and a bucket of minor elective courses from which the students can choose from. So again, after doing the groundwork and researching a bit about it, I was able to find that there are around 3 or 4 courses which can be candidate for the minor core courses, and there are around 15 or 16 electives which are currently running. Like all these courses are currently running. I'm not planning to introduce any new courses. All of these are currently running courses and elective courses, which can be present in the minor elective bucket. And secondly, regarding the proposal, so I was talking to one of the HODs and one of the professors how one should go about proposing this. So they mentioned that as this is a student driven or a student proposed minor program, if the Dean AP or the I'm sorry, if the relevant authorities from the Dean AP office, if they feel that this proposal has a need and like it can be implemented, they would institute a committee for the same, who would be then deciding the actual course content and actual curriculum, and which department would be administering this minor. Everything would be decided by that particular committee.
I have no rebuttals. Does anybody else have?
Okay, we move on to the fifth question by the panel. Panel members, would you like to ask your fifth question? Okay, so we are having some. Yeah, Hetvi, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I was not able to unmute until. So, Rishikesh, I have a question on the mini MBA program that you're proposing. So firstly, how is it different than the management minor that is already offered, and what value would it create for the students?
Right. So answering the first question regarding the how is it different from the management minor. So as you might be knowing, the management minor is a very big commitment for a student. It's a 5-semester long commitment where students have to take one course each semester, which is 4 months long. And not all students would be like interested or willing to put so much amount of efforts to explore the management domain or the what an MBA entails. So this would be different in such a way that it would be short 1.2, 1.5 or 2 hour long workshops on the topics like organizational behavior or quantitative analysis, finance, economics, and other courses which are a part of the MBA curriculum. And there would be like professionals invited to have lectures on this, and they would be briefly telling about what lies in this particular course in the MBA curriculum. And the relevant target audience to this is, I feel that there are a lot, like the management minor is quite competitive in nature, and a lot of students also are not able to complete the minor or get the minor in the first place. I think the target audience can be the students who do not get the minors, and secondly, the target audience also can be the students who just want to get a flavor what an MBA entails or what has MBA has in store for them, and the students who are willing to who are thinking of giving CAT or GMAT in their to pursue MBA in the future. And what student would be benefited from this into one way that I mentioned, that they would be attending courses and they would get a flavor of what the MBA curriculum looks like in a very brief manner. And secondly, they would also be awarded a certificate by the career cell if they complete this with a certain amount of attendance, which can be figured out during the execution of this.
Okay, so I wanted to understand more on the implementation part, that who will it be organized under, and that will there be a selection procedure or will it be open for everyone?
Okay, so I didn't get your first question, that who I mentioned career cell would be organizing this. So is that career cell would be organizing this?
So there won't be any department associated with it. This would be an external program.
Not external. We might have some faculties from within the IIT Bombay. As I mentioned, professionals would be invited. So the professionals can be professors from IIT Bombay or SJM SOMO, or even some industry professionals.
Okay, and so this will be something like the learner space that is already in summers, but only in the semester.
It is a bit similar to learner space, but there's an ideological difference between these two. That learner space happens in summer, first thing, and secondly, learner space is targeted towards freshers who are staying in the I'm talking about the offline semester, obviously. That it is targeted towards the freshers who are currently staying in the institute, but this would be uh, in the semester, as you mentioned. It would be at a very broader scale and a very bigger scale, because learner space only has 2 or 3 workshops, but this would have around 10 to 11 workshops on different MBA courses, as I mentioned earlier.
So the last question I have is regarding the registrations. So how will you manage if the number goes overboard of what you've estimated?
Right. So I think at the start we can keep a cap on the number of because according if this is conducted in an offline semester, then we would have the exact number, that what is the capacity of that particular room. So we can cap that number and take some registration fees from the students, and then return, which would be refundable if the student attends again a certain percentage of the courses. And so yeah, the attendance would be capped if there is a need felt for it.
We have 1 minute left. Panel members, please ask any rebuttals if you have.
Hi, this is Asad. So I have a question on this. I'm not able to understand the value you are generating for the students. So when you look at minor in management, you see a 5 semester long commitment where the student is doing courses under a particular department, right, which is recognized by everyone. And then you get across, some string of workshops You are not essentially recognized by anyone, but you are just doing it as a hobby. And it is in a way a commitment, because then there are 10 to 11 workshops that you mentioned if you are to learn something. So how do you see the value adding?
Right. So if we see the value, so there's a lot of master classes or these long workshops that have been taking traction in this particular career domain. And Career Cell also organizes such kind of workshops, and Finance Club also has it. Like the Alpha Beta workshop is also similar on the similar lines. There is this policy consulting master class, there is KPMG master class, and there is also the CMAP, which is organized by the Career Cell, which involves some a bit amount of commitment, but it also adds value to one's profile because companies would recognize it, and I understand that at the first companies would not recognize this mini MBA because it is the first time, but as we go on, like if you have a far-fetched vision, then I think companies eventually would value this thing as a if again if planned really carefully and it executed well, then definitely companies would start valuing it over the years.
Just to understand a bit better, I'm sorry I'm extending this further, but all the workshops that you mentioned that are organized, Alpha, Beta, they are valued by the company because they are global needs. Like they are conducted in multiple colleges. The program you are suggesting would be done by Career Cell IITB, and that really limits the amount of visibility that the program has. Don't you agree?
Mm, I think
We'll move
as we are
on
targeting.
after. Yeah, sorry. We'll move on after Rishikesh's answer to the sixth point. Yeah. Rishikesh, please.
Yeah. So firstly, as we are targeting, I agree to the point that these KPMG and all the other workshops have a bit more value because they are on a global scale and they are organized by companies who have a well-known reputation. But again, our target audience is IIT Bombay students, and our second target audience is the companies who recruit from IIT Bombay. So I think we do not want to have a global presence, or we do not want to have a pan-India presence because our focus is only IIT Bombay students. And I think I agree that it would not have the value which would be similar to KPMG or other things. But I think its companies would certainly start valuing it because, and it might again be students might also get an edge over other IITs probably if this pans out well.
Okay. Dear panel members, please ask the sixth question.
Okay, Rishikesh, so there is a point regarding new course feedback mechanism. So why is there a need of a new course feedback mechanism when we already have one, a full semester course feedback we take, and also we have started a new mid-sem course feedback. So why do you think that there is a need of another course feedback mechanism?
Um, okay. So I think the point is we have a new course feedback. I mean to raise awareness about that particular new course feedback that has been implemented. Uh, because like over the years, people have not been filling the course feedback due to the various reasons such as the longevity of the previous course feedback was pretty long, and I think the new course feedback which is updated is bit more relevant to the the current scheme of things and how the current courses are run currently, and it is again shorter, which is more relevant to the students, and hence there is a need for awareness that the new course feedback has been updated, and you would not have to spend a lot of amount time. Basically, people have to be made aware about that the course feedback has changed, and you can now fill it in a shorter amount of time, and the course feedback also has an impact. Previously, also many of the students think that the course feedback is not being taken seriously. So the raise awareness point is about raising awareness about this new course feedback, and also letting the students know that it is being taken seriously by the administration and the professors.
So is it just the students you are raising awareness among, or you have talked with the faculties if they take these feedback seriously or not? Because many of the faculties, and the professors do not take these feedback seriously. Some of them do, but most of them doesn't. So have you talked to any faculty or the professors regarding this?
Right. Yeah. I spoke to a few of the faculty members about this, and there is this new course feedback committee, which there is this committee which worked on this course feedback, which implemented this feedback, and they also came up with this one recommendation, which only concerns the professor, that professors have been awarded the Teaching Excellence Awards. And this new course feedback mechanism, like the committee has told to the professors, and it was, I think, discussed with all of the professors, that the course feedback would be taken very seriously, and it would be the only factor on which this teaching excellence award would be awarded to the professors. And hence, I think the professors know the importance of it. And while doing the groundwork, they also mentioned that, like, they were telling me that you should raise awareness about course feedback in the students, and they personally want that students should feel more course feedback. So I think there needs to be more awareness on the student side rather than the professors side.
Just a factual correction. Course feedback is the sole indicator for teaching excellence in teaching awards. There is no other indicator as such.
Yeah, I meant the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so no other further rebuttals from my side. Any other panel members want to ask anything? Then go ahead.
Any other panel members? Would you like to ask something? Okay, we move on to the seventh question. Panel members, please ask the seventh question on the point.
Okay, my question is about the immersion week which you have mentioned. If you can elaborate on your plan in terms of who's going to take charge of it, what activities are you going to uh, conduct within that? Yeah, please.
Right. So this academics free immersion week would be again a collaborative effort between the administration, the GSA UG, the GSA PG, the GSHA, and the SMP team for the UG students. And the activity that we basically, the reason for having this academics free immersion week is because the sophomores, like the incoming sophomores who are currently the first year students, they haven't visited the institute like any time, and it would be the first time they would be visiting the institute, and they do not know anything about any facilities about the institute. For example, where the central library is, where the main building is, or where even the gymkhana facilities are, or etc. Like these kind of facilities, and hence I feel that there is a need for to get them adjusted to the institute life, and then know more about the institute, what all the institute facilities are present in the institute, so that they can use it during their stay. And this particularly does not happen for a first year student, because the academics of the first year students are relatively the workload is lesser as compared to the third semester or the fourth semester. And hence I think that there is a need for having a like academics free immersion week, so that we do not burden the students with academic load and allow them to freely explore the institute to the fullest. And ISMP and just to add one more thing, the ISMP and DIAM mentors would be the foremost stakeholders who would be involved in like executing this, because they are the ones who are connected to their mentees on a like the most relevant scale.
So my only concern about this plan is availability of time. So most of the departments have their third semester to be their heaviest, and like they generally don't find time to do anything. So similarly, their damp mentors or any other mentors, if you're going to name them, are not going to have time to indulge in such an activity. How are you going to encourage students? Encourage students, by students I mean both mentees and mentors, to get involved.
Right. So I do not plan to have this activity at like in between of the semester. I was discussing this with the relevant like authorities from the administration, and they were positive about the idea that we can probably call this first year student and their respective ISMP and DIAP mentors around 1 week before the instruction starts. So basically, 1 week before the instruction starts, none of the students, not like the mentees or the mentors, would have any academic load or academic burden, and hence they would be able to like devote full time of there to like help the students explore the institute, and the students can explore the institute. And also, just one clarification: the ISMP and DM mentors who are only like who do not have their internships would only be like called back to the institute, and the relevant authorities found this idea, like they mentioned that they were quite positive about this idea, and they think that this can be implemented and should definitely be implemented for the students.
I just like to know a bit more on the implementation of this. So currently, as we're going about, one, it is a phased bring back to institute and implementation that we have. And second, we have a quarantine, which would likely convert to a soft quarantine, right? So when would this emotion be week be in the quarantine period or after the quarantine period? And how would it be implemented?
Right. So again, as you mentioned that there can be a hard quarantine, there can be a soft quarantine, or there can be like we are not sure like what the future entails for us, and would there be a quarantine at the first place. So the current implementation details that I've thought of is like thinking that there would be only a 2-day soft quarantine which would be observed by both like the students, and hence and again like this is assuming that the students are or, like the entire first year batch is called at once, and the relevant ISMP and DM mentors are called also. But again, everything is dependent on the current situation, and the details of things can be figured out ad hoc as the situation prevails again. Yeah.
Last 1 minute remaining. Dear panel members, if you have some rebuttal, please do ask.
So I have a concern regarding this. So since you're aiming at basically integrating the Sophie batch, which has not seen the institute into the institute culture, and this solely arises because I have seen that in this scenario, G6 would be burdened with a lot of work. Do you think this is essentially the work of SMP and not you, because you'll be basically integrating them into student culture? So how does that fall into your domain essentially?
Right. So the three SMP coordinators and the GSA are the student representative from an academic point of view. So the four of us, if elected, if I get elected, the four of us would be proposing the administration to have an academics free immersion week basically. So if you also must have noticed about the reboot mechanism. So the current GSA UG and the GSA PG were also involved with the current reboot mechanism, and so similarly the role of GSA UG, like this is the role of the GSA UG in this.
Okay. Panel members, please ask the 8th question.
Okay, so my question is regarding your point in academic and policy reforms. And the first point mentions about minor electives and about additional seats for final year students. What exactly do you think is the problem in the present system, and why are like final year students not able to complete their minor as opposed to what it was aimed for? And what exactly is your plan to solve whatever the problem is right now?
Right. So answering the first question, that why final year students are not able to complete the minors, is that uh, like it has been observed again it has been observed that the students have relatively higher CPI in their initial semesters as compared to their in the final semesters, and hence as the minor what do we say the pre-registration has become CPI wise, the younger students or the junior students have an extra edge over the senior students while getting the minors, and hence due to some reason some of the senior students would not be able to get or take the courses from this minor particular minor programs, and particularly the more competitive minors such as the management, which has management and statistics, which have a very high cutoff. And secondly, how do I plan to go about it? So as I mentioned in the manifesto as well, that I will be taking forward the efforts of the current council. So the current status of the proposal is that the proposal is in due deliberation, they are deliberating in the UGPC, and after taking inputs from the individual department, the DUGCs, the suggested changes would be implemented in the proposal, and improvements would be incorporated, and the new proposal will be again like went through the again same route, the UGPC and then the Senate if approved by the UGPC.
Okay, so this the number of additional seats is a variable, and how do you think the departments should go on about go on with determining what this additional number of seats is going to be? Like, because each
So I think
course has a different degree of popularity and different degree of say demand. So yeah.
So I think it can be again as I mentioned, the departmental input should be required. So these are the departmental input that would be required regarding the class size and how like again what the professor wants to how much attendance the professor or how much number of students the professor wants to have that in that particular class. These are the logistics again that needs suggestions from the department side, and it can be the number of students who can be allowed to like the extra students from the senior batches again could be figured out by two mechanisms: the availability of seats in that particular room if conducted in an offline semester, and secondly, the willingness of professor or the department to have like the number of students who would be again willing to take that course by studying the like previous data regarding the registrations and how many people did not get the minors and how many of them were like senior students.
Panel members, we have some time left, around 1 minute. Do you want to ask a question, rebuttal question? Okay, we can move on to the last and final question point, which the panel would like to deliberate upon in this segment of the SOAPBOX. Please ask the next question.
Hello, hi Rishikesh. So the point
Right.
about the Internet of Things and Internet of Everything. Uh, so you have said that you will facilitate projects and internship and program offerings for UG students. So is this the projects being offered by the professors of our college or the projects offered anywhere else?
Right. So this technology innovation hub is being set up in IIT Bombay, of which the institute professors and few of the industry professionals are a part of. And while talking to the relevant authorities, they mentioned that they wish to offer again, as I mentioned, projects, internships, competitions, and challenges for the students of IIT Bombay. And these all need to be student driven according to the student needs. So the projects, as you answering the questions, the projects would be offered. Some of them are the professors and some of them are the industry professionals who are a part of this technological innovation hub.
So who will be coordinating with these industries? If industry is being involved, there needs to be someone responsible who can coordinate with industries. So who will be coordinating with them?
Right, so there are like relevant authorities in the technology innovation hub. It has a proper team of like board of governors, executive team, a team of professors, and a team of industry professionals. So they are like they have not started the execution yet, but they are like they have a sufficient number of members in the each of the teams who would be facilitating this industry interactions. And there is also a professor in charge, I think, who would be leading this industry interactions and external interactions.
Okay. Any other panel members want to ask anything on this?
Panel members, if any rebuttals you want to ask or questions you want to ask on the same point. Okay, I think we can move on to the next segment. So just for the student community members here, the next segment is a topic debate. We have circulated 4 topics beforehand to the panel members and the candidate, and I will be randomly rolling a dice on my computer because right now sets aren't available, and whatever corresponding number is there, we will ask that particular topic to the particular candidate. Post that, the candidate expresses 2-3 minutes of their opinion, and then the panel members express their opinion on the particular thing, and then they debate further for around 3 minutes. The total time per topic is around 10 minutes. So I have rolled the dice, and the first number is 2. Situation corresponding to 2, I will put it up on the chat as well for the audience members to see. I will read it out for everyone. So online semester education. In the online semester, all stakeholders were considerably stressed during the last semester. Although there was an effort to push several measures from the students' side to ease out the pressure, and some of them were implemented, as a candidate for the office of General Secretary Academic Affairs UG, what do you believe was lacking in the online semester? What could have been carried out better?
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, you can start.
Yeah. So again, while doing the groundworks and talking to a lot of professors and students, I was able to get a lot of perspective on this particular issue that everyone has been facing in the past around 8 to 10 months. And the problems that I could identify majorly, I have been I will try to list them down. And starting, so the first point would be that but again, I found out that there was a lack of structure in the logistics of how the courses were run, and the evaluation policies was constantly altered for these courses, particularly in the last semester, in the previous semester, and the professors were not they were also very unsure about what what evaluation criteria should be assigned to this particular activity, and hence it added an initial additional stress on the students. And the solution that I can think of this is currently that if there was there could have been probably a midterm feedback, which could have in the professor side, not the student side, that that could have entailed that this professor is particularly running this course in a very smoother manner, and this course is being run in a very good manner, and that could have been implemented in the rest of the courses. So that there was a there was structuredness, and there was an there was a fixed evaluation policy, so that it could have reduced the stress on the students. The second problem that I could think of is that there was a continuous evaluation mechanism which was in place, which added an extra academic burden and stress on the students, and which in turn increased the screen time as well. So I think that the reason why the administration or the professors focused on this continuous evaluation mechanism is that uh, they wanted to let the students be continuously involved with the academics, and also they felt that they also made the end semester weightage too high in the lieu of conducting those offline, which was stated initially during the when the online semester started. So hence this continuous evaluation mechanism was in place, but it did not have a significant weightage to a grade of the person, and hence it added an extra academic burden. The next thing the problem that I can think of is the proctoring mechanism was not uniform throughout the semester, and also even if it was fixed after a certain period of time, it was not uniform across courses, and there were around only 35% of the courses which followed the proctoring guidelines which were mentioned by the institute, and hence it created added confusion in the student community that which course has the which would have which proctoring mechanism, and all the confusion was arised due to this. The next thing that I could think of is this is a very yeah. So the issue that I could think of is that there is currently no policy in place which respects or regards the privacy of the students, which is being hindered due to the online proctoring. And The solution that I can think of for this is that there needs to be this is a very big issue probably, and this can be analogous to the social media privacy issue, which has been like talked around in the like the worldwide. So the solution that I can think of for this is that there needs to be a committee formed for the professors, and like there should be some student representatives also present in that particular committee, which comes up with a policy which mentions that these are the things that should not be part of the online proctoring, or these are the things that ensures that the privacy of the students is well maintained, and the online proctoring, like the recordings and everything, is safe with the institute. There needs to be policy, or there needs to be assurance to the students regarding this. And the last point that I would like to cover is that so in an online semester, students, all of the students are at their homes, and everyone, like every person, is in different environment, and hence it is not an equal ground for everyone to work or study. As opposed to an offline semester where institute ensure that all of the students are given equal opportunities, equal facilities. And I agree that institute tried their best to like
You have 30 more
have the issue.
seconds.
Yeah, the institute tried to have the issues, like they solve the extreme issues like the resource constrained students and the students who do not have the laptops. But like there are also other problems that the students, which might not be very grave for the institute, but there are problems, and hence it creates an unequal foreground for the students, and hence it creates a bit of unfairness for everyone. So yeah, thank you.
Panel members, please express your opinion and then the debate can start.
Throughout you mentioned that there were some privacy concerns during proctoring. So a lot of times what happens with professors is, because there have been some cases of malpractice during exams, so professors turn to extreme measures, and it is very difficult to have a institute-wide implementation of such things where you ensure that the privacy is maintained. So how do you see that happening? Where let's say let's assume a course where some malpractices has happened, and you are trying to implement some kind of a privacy model in that course. How do you see that happening?
Um, right. So basically, in the policy, we can have according to the cases. So basically, as you mentioned, that a malpractice has occurred in a particular course, and the recording would be the evidence of that particular malpractice. But again, we should ensure that this recording of this particular course or this particular exam is only made available to the like the relevant stakeholders from the DA committee and the professor or the TAs themselves. And it should not like I could think of like this for this malpractice thing, that basically there should be everything written like objective, that if this thing happens, then this privacy concern would be violated. But that's the need of the hour, and it needs to be it needs to be like the privacy concerns needs to be violated because of the sharing with the DA committee. So I think the policy needs to be like very objective, that if this thing happens, then only this privacy concern would be violated. And everything, if it is everything is in like in objective manner, then I don't think the students or the professors or even the administration would not have any problem.
Panel members, please ask any more questions. We have time left.
Okay, Rishikesh. So the question is, you mentioned that only 35% of the courses, professors followed the proctoring methods that was proposed by the institute, and this may be one of the reasons. There was a large amount of uh, cheating going on during the online semester. So how would you ensure, or how will the how will you ensure that the departments follow the exact guideline that is being proposed by the institute? Also, adding on to that, uh, you know every course and every department has their own way of conducting a course. Every professor is dealing with either having a course project that is running throughout the semester, or they are having multiple assignments, which is creating an overload on the students. And particularly talking about the freshmen who have freshers, those who have joined this year, uh, they have a particularly short semester and they are being overloaded by such large number of assignments and back-to-back quizzes, assignments, midsem. So how do you think that it is hampering their performances, and how do you think that institute can address these issues?
Right. So answering the first question regarding how we can help the professors, or how the malpractices can be reduced by, like, because one more backing to this, like that the 35% of the courses which followed the institute recommended guidelines, there were around like minimal to zero cases reported of cheating in this particular courses. So we can use this data as backing to tell the rest of the professors, or the rest of the departments, that as you can see that this particular mechanism reduces cheating by a very great extent, and hence it should be implemented. And one of the reasons also that some of the professors did not follow the guidelines, because they did not have the technical support or the technical expertise to implement those details regarding the proctoring. So I think the administration and the GSA UG team, like the UGC team, can help these professors who are not that technically sound, to get them acquainted to how things work, like the technical things work for proctoring. And I think that could solve the problem. And secondly, I did not get your second question completely. Could you please repeat it?
Just a factual correction before that. There weren't 0% cases reported in the method that institute recommended. There were some percentage of cases that were reported and taken care of by different academic disciplinary committees.
Right. So yeah, correct. Yeah. So negligible
please
to
go ahead with the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my second question was, like, every professor in every department are following their own methods of evaluating the course. Talking about the second year, third year, and fourth year students, they are having semester long projects, course projects, back-to-back assignments, midsem, endsem. And talking about the freshers, they have particularly short semester, and they feel continuous assignments, midsem, and after that a quiz happens, and then midsem. So it is being overloaded on them. And talking about the senior students, they are also being overloaded by different course evaluation mechanisms. So is there a way institute can look into either formalizing a method of evaluation for all the departments, or especially for the freshers, looking forward to the second semester, which will be starting tomorrow?
So
1
yeah,
minute.
answering the question. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think while I was doing the groundwork with some of the institute authorities, we discussed about this freedom that has been given to the professors at IIT Bombay, and they mentioned that the level of education that we have at IIT Bombay is due to the reason that like professors have been given the freedom that how they can run the course. But I think in this particular online semester, there could be some guidelines which can be mentioned, that like end semester cannot have a weightage which is more than as we like last semester it was around 80% which was recommended, but it can be reduced in this semester, because now we know how things function in an online semester. So I think some recommendation can be made around what can be the uh, rough estimate of the percentages which can be allotted to each of the course evaluation mechanisms, and so that it can like decrease the load on the first year students and the senior students as well. And as you mentioned that I would also like to highlight on one aspect, that regarding the course projects, that uh, again while talking to professors, they mentioned that having course projects, some of the professors, they mentioned that having course projects improves the learning and knowledge of the students, because it cannot involve a component of malpractices or cheating, and secondly it involves implementation of the things that have been learned in the courses, theoretical knowledge, and hence probably some professors would have the institute can recommend or advise the professors to have a short component of course projects, so that the students can like learn in a better way, and the malpractice also decrease.
Okay. We move on to the second topic debate now. I am rolling the dice once again. So it's number 1. I'll put it up on the chat for the student community members here. So the topic debate is summer activities by dual degree students. As of now, there have been several different efforts to allow dual degree students to pursue activities in their summer period between their final and pre-final year. Some of them have been successful at the academic unit level, although at the institute level, it has not been. This is essentially depriving our students of different activities that they can pursue during the summer time. What are your views on this? Are there significantly different policies in other IITs and colleges about this? How can this problem be solved in IIT Bombay, keeping in mind the placement cell? How is this problem linked to MTech and MSc students? What are the roadblocks here in IIT Bombay?
Right. So answering the first question regarding what are my views on this, so I completely agree with the fact that the DD students are slightly being deprived of the various exploratory activities that they can pursue in the summers. And also during groundworks and while talking to some of the professors, I got to know that the rationale behind introducing the dual degree program, it was to create like engineers and technologists like who are motivated to do research and identify the current problems and have technical acumen to develop innovative solutions for it. So, hence, allowing the students to pursue a 2-month long exploratory activity in the form of a industry learning or industry training or a research will prepare students to identify and solve real life technological problems. So, yeah, I feel that there needs to be some exploratory activities in for the dual degree students. Answering the next question about the different policies which are in place in other IITs. So yeah, the students of several first generation IITs are provided with the opportunity of industrial training in summers between their pre-final and final year of study. And the reason for the same is that the credit structure of their dual degree program is a bit different and the input required from the student side is a bit less as compared to the credit requirement or the input required from students at IIT Bombay, and hence the thesis work is less rigorous as compared to IIT Bombay, and hence they are able to give the summers free for the students. Next question that I would like to address here is what are the roadblocks that are present at IIT Bombay, and how this problem can be solved. Like I'll first state the roadblocks and then I'll tell the solutions that I have in mind for it. So the major roadblock that I can think of is majorly is the credit structure of the DDP, the dual degree program, the dual degree project. So that the current DDP has phases, and one of the like it starts from the summer after the 8th semester, and it goes on till the it includes the summer of the after the 8th semester. It includes the 9th semester, 10th semester, and also the summer after the 10th semester. So it's a 14-month long program, and hence departments and the administration have devised their made the evaluation schemes and everything according to this timeline, and hence it cannot be hence there is a and the reason that summers are not being able to like utilize for exploratory activities to the students is that it is a part of the DDP, and they do the administration does not want to like decrease the sanctity of the dual degree program or the dual degree project by like cutting off the summer out of the DDP. And so these are like this is the major roadblock. Yeah, and the solution that I can think of is like first one can be the similar to the Department of Energy Science and Engineering, which shifting the summer timeline to winters and the winters after the 7th semester and the 8th semester. And the second solution to this can be there is a curriculum review happening in the institute currently. So so the UGSC and the GSA UG can like recommend this committee that if the credit requirements or the credit hours of this dual degree students is reduced, and hence the timeline can be shrunk, and therefore the summers can be made available to the students.
Panel
and regarding
members,
the MTech and MSc students, so
yeah, panel
can I get a
members,
30
do you
second
want to ask questions? Asad, Rishabh, Ranjana, Hetvi, Adarsh.
So you mentioned that the professors are a bit reluctant to go ahead with this because they are afraid that if they move the summer out, then they would be hurting the sanctity. But then the way you see forward is maybe recommending in the curriculum review that you reduce the credit requirement, which I think in a way would also reduce the sanctity of the program as well. So I am not really able to understand the way forward.
Okay, so because the current credit requirements or the current structure in which the DDB structure assigns certain number of credits or evaluation component in that summers. So by decreasing the credit hours, I meant to say that the credit hours for summers would be decreased, and they would be like the evaluation component would be put up in the upcoming semesters and the next summers, and hence the we would try that the sanctity of the dual degree program would not be affected, and the academic or the education of the students are not affected due to this decrease in the credit hours or the requirements.
Okay, so you meant basic redistribution of credits, right?
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so just one more question on this from my side would be that you mentioned in the your foreign exchange dual degree program that it is essentially for the people who are actually interested for the research bit, right? Don't you think people who are actually interested to pursue research when they are in the dual degree program, when you shift out the research out of summer, it is somehow going to affect their research, and just because people want to some people want to explore in the summers, you are in some way hurting their research prospects.
Uh, Right. So as I mentioned that they can like the students can explore various other exploratory activities. I didn't mean to say only industrial training. They can also pursue research if they are interested in research. Because like the summer period would be given free to the students, and they are not bound to have like industrial training. They can have industrial training or they can have research according to their particular interests.
And shifting credits in the semester, so from what I understand, dual degree students are already a bit loaded in the in semesters. I think other people in the panel who are dual degree can correct me if I'm wrong, but they are already a bit loaded, somewhere around above 40-45 credit. So pushing that in the semester, do you think that would make sense?
Right. So particularly this we are talking about the last two semesters of the dual degree students, and as far as I know, the dual degree commitment or the dual degree credits required in the last two semester is 36 credits worth of thesis work in the first semester, and 36 credits worth of thesis work in the second semester, and 6+6 one courses in each of the semesters. And so I think that shifting a workload of around 1 or 2 credits in both of these semesters would not have a huge impact uh, on the students. And again, as I mentioned, that the students who want to pursue research then and want to have do not want to have loaded ninth and 10th semester, they can pursue that particular research in the summers and not have an industrial training.
So that is it from my side. Other panel members can ask questions.
Panel members, do you want to ask more rebuttals? We have around 1.5 minutes remaining in this segment.
So, as far as I know, like most DD programs have some sort of honors requirements compulsory, right? So,
Yeah.
how would you actually go about pushing for this credit change, and what would be the new credit structure that would be proposing?
Right. So the honor requirements is basically 24 credits worth of MTech courses should have been the dual degree students have to do it. And I think the current curriculum well pans out with the the honor requirements, because it is well spaced in the rest of the 6 semesters, that from the third semester till 8th semester, and we are just trying to play around the summer period, which do not have currently allotted a proper honor requirement or a course. It is just a DDP work, which is about like literature review or working on the DDP. It does not involve any sort of coursework. So I don't think the coursework or the honors requirement will be affected by this change that I plan to propose.
So I just had a follow-up that why would the faculty guide during semester?
Basically, I
When
was
the
saying about the
stage
8th
zero
semester.
requires.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get your
stage zero,
question completely.
I'm saying that why would the faculty guide during the semester when the stage 0 requires too much guidance?
So basically, I plan to propose like two types of solutions. First thing is that shifting the summer timeline to winters and 8th semester. So I think if I got the question correctly, you're saying about the time that the guide is devoting towards the student in the 8th semester. So it is again compensating the time that the guide has to spend with the student in the summer semesters, in the summer, right? It is just a shift of timeline, and I think most of the professors are like like convenient, or like they agree to this, because it is just a period of 2 months. We are shifting into 5 months, winters plus 8th semester. So I think it would not add much of a load to the professor side as well, because we are basically shifting 2 months to 5 months. And the professor would also not have to guide the students in the summer semester, because their phase 0 has been completed before the before the summers.
Panel members.
Just to follow up to that,
yeah,
Madhu, can I take
last we are moving out of time. Last rebuttal. Yeah.
Right. So as far as my so as far as my experience goes, this winters is usually hectic for professors, right? Because most professors have the winter conferences at this time. So I don't like this was actually a follow up to Hitvi's question. Like, why do you think professors would be willing to go above and beyond their normal, workload to pursue this and help students get an internship?
Right. So basically, the professors also, like while doing the groundwork, I also got to know that the professors also have like seminars and workshops or conferences during the summers. But if we have a like the this curriculum change coming from the from the administration, the professors again would shift their plans, because they currently also have summer commitments or summer conferences that they have to compromise due to the work that has been assigned to them by the administration for DD students. And similar thing, if this comes from the administration that winters have to be given to DD students, then the professors would plan accordingly and have their conferences on everything in the summers, which are being also free for them. So yeah, I think.
Okay, we would move on to the next segment of the soapbox, which is a background check. I will be asking two short questions, which you would be given 2 minutes of time. With this also, I would like to thank all of the panel members for their contributions and effort in the particular soapbox. So the first question for the candidate is about during the tenure of Gymkhana year 2020 to 21, the Consult Club has been trying to instate a core team for Consult Club, which is looking forward for solving problems inside and outside of the institute. This effort has been going on around since the past 4 to 5 years, when the Consult Club was first instated as an official body. Why did it not get instated during your tenure?
Right. Basically, getting on from the previous tenures, the new thing that we did this tenure that we surveyed, or we spoke to around 15 to 16 bodies of student consulting bodies from different IITs, different universities from Delhi University, and a lot of other technical universities which have this similar kind of structure by 180 DCs or shares. And we were evaluating how the mechanism can be implemented here at IIT Bombay. And after like doing an extensive survey, we were able to formalize a bit of like we were able to make a proposal of what would be the structure of this core group, who like how would the selection procedures be, and whom should we target and everything. So, but again, like, as I mentioned, the extensive survey took a lot of time because we surveyed around 15 to 16 colleges, and we wanted to make sure that the core group, when instituted, should function in a smoother manner, and hence it took a bit of time for the extensive survey that we carried out. And after the proposal was ready, we even had discussions with a few of the senior alumni from IIT Bombay who are into consulting, and also uh, and like they mentioned some changes, and we also incorporated those changes. But during all of this process, the timeline which was like planned to have, it got a bit extended due to the nature of the online things and the extensive feedback that we carried out. So we have a proposal in place currently, and the next consult club manager or the next tenure, next council would have a proposal and an extensive survey on which they can work on to instate the core group.
Okay. The next background check is about the placement preparation program, etc. So a lot of senior students try to enter into consulting due to being less aware about different job opportunities and what consulting really is. So why has the consult club not been able to achieve that amount of awareness in the senior year students about what consulting really is, so that they actually choose what they want to do in your tenure?
Uh, Right. So basically, the placement preparation program that you mentioned is a collaborative effort between the placement cell, the UGC, and the SARC, and hence like again, due to the online nature of things, everything was converted to online, and there was a change in which the placement preparation bootcamp or the placement preparation program was discussed and thought of implementation. And the answering to your question that why students are not aware about I would like to slightly like disagree on the fact that every student like students are not aware about what consulting is. There are a lot of students who are aware about consulting and who go into consulting finally, but there is a slight change in the timeline that we have for the placement preparation program, because the current timeline is about having the workshops around after the mid semester exams or something, and but till then the students have already decided that which domain do they want to pursue or which domain they want to target. And I think the shift in the timeline of this placement preparatory activities to summer, or even the after the sixth semester or the eighth semester for the dual degree students, would help students get more aware about what consulting or what each of the domains that we conduct the workshops for entails for them, and hence they can choose and like have an informed decision taken if this timeline of this placement preparatory activities is shifted like to summers or the pre-final year of the students.
Okay. We move on to the next segment of the SOAPBOX, which is the Q&A sessions. First, we would invite two questions from the Insight members, which is the student media body of IIT Bombay. And then we would move on for the audience questions, which would be around 6 and nearly be around 15 minutes or so. So Samyak, I am asking you to unmute. Please unmute and ask your first question.
Hi Rishikesh, I'm Samyak from Insight IIT Bombay. So my first question is that in the last 2 semesters, the registration process had several problems, including that the curriculum wasn't updated, the minor courses were allotted without some students' CPI being updated. Since the registration process is a thing that affects all students on campus, do you plan any initiative or measure to ensure that this won't be the case next time around?
Right. So yeah, so while doing the groundwork with the relevant authorities from the ASC center, they mentioned that they were waiting for this ERP or SAP rollout, which happened for the finance and cash section initially for the academics section, and hence they were not updating the current ASC interface, or they were not working on working actively on completely revamping the ASC to make it more student friendly. But now that the institute has decided that they would not be rolling out the ERP or SAP for the academics, that is the ASC, and the ASC this year would be completely focusing on streamlining and automating the the registration process and easing the registration process for the students. And after talking to them, they also mentioned that the basic things that the student grievances that they receive, they have made a they are going to work on definitely on that. And they also mentioned that they would love to get some student inputs on what extra things can be added to ease the process for registration or even the retagging. So there is one point in my manifesto which I've also spoken to about in my Insight video interview, that I propose to integrate a department-specific elective bulletin on ASC, which would automate the elective tagging. So this is basically similar to the course specific core course specific bulletin that the department office has to send to the ASC, and this is just an add-on improvement to the current process or the current scheme of things how registration happens. It would ease the process of elective tagging for students or automate the process.
Yeah, Samyak, I'm asking you to unmute. Please ask your second question.
Okay, so my next question is that currently the IR office offers little to no financial help to students going for a semester exchange or a foreign research internship. So how do you plan to acquire the funds that can be given out as scholarships to the students who are planning to go for a SEMEX or a research internship abroad? Because you have mentioned that in one of your points.
Right. So after talking to the relevant authorities from the IR office and the Dean ACR office, so I'll just like to give a background about one of the scholarships which is somewhat related to international exposure. So currently in the institute, alumni fund 8 students to go on international conferences per semester. And while talking to authorities from the IR office and the Dean ACR office, they mentioned that something of the similar sort can be explored for the students who are going for semester exchange and or foreign research internships, and scholarships or some kind of financial assistance can be acquired from the alumni who would be willing to sponsor or financially assist one of the students or two of the students per semester for a semester exchange, and similarly for foreign research internships which the PT cell receives, which are currently unpaid. And so yeah, I think I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Samyak. Thanks for bringing up these questions through an online referendum from student notices and the relevant channels. We thank the Insight members who have been able to help us. So we now move on to the last and the second last actually of the SOAPBOX, which is the audience question. So students, please raise your hands and we would ask you to unmute yourself. When you are asking a question, please be as polite as possible and introduce yourself first when you want to ask a question. So Ipsit, I'm unmuting you, asking you.
Hello, Hrishikesh. So my question is on one of your initiative on that Internet of Things, where you said that you will facilitate projects, internships, and program offerings for UG students. So you might know that there are very few embedded system or IoT related courses being offered in the institute. That to one of them I want to quote is CS684, and which is basically not allowed for UGs. So if there are no formal courses for UGs in institute, how will this initiative help them? You also know that Electronics and Robotics Club already conducts such workshops, which is obviously helping them. So how is your initiative different, and can you elaborate more on this initiative? Like many other colleges also have IoT courses, but our institute doesn't have much. Even EE doesn't have. So how do you say about it? Yeah, you can start.
Okay, thank you. So after talking to the relevant authorities or the relevant professors from Technology Innovation Hub, they mentioned that basically they have a group of professors who are like proficient or who do research in Internet of Things and Internet of Everything. And hence, in my like manifesto, I've written that they would facilitate projects, internships, and program offerings. So they also would train the students and would have a training period before they are proficient enough to work on a project or an internship, even under a professor or even at an industry level. And by program offerings, I also mean that when I was discussing with the professors, they also mentioned that they also plan to, in the long run, they also plan to run courses under this TIH, because it has a set of professors from IIT Bombay who can officially run courses. They are allowed to run courses. So The TIH also plans to run courses in this particular domains of Internet of Things and Internet of Everything, so that it could aid the students right from the basics, and then the students can implement the same in the projects, internships, and various challenges and competitions that they have in mind.
Ipsit, you want to ask something as a follow-up?
Yes. So by when can we expect any new IoT courses? So can we expect them during the registration of next semester, or even the next semester?
Right. So while talking to the relevant authorities, they mentioned that they plan to have these courses, have these like activities running by the next semester. But I'm not like completely sure if they if they would we would start with the courses directly. But I think something would take place from the next semester, either projects, internships, or even some challenge or workshops. So, yeah.
Okay. Ipsit, I'm lowering your hand and muting you.
Yes.
Anyone else who want to ask any questions, please raise your hand. I would ask you to unmute yourself and please introduce and ask the question you want to ask. We have a question from Art Chishman. Art Chishman, I've asked you to unmute yourself. Please ask the question after introducing yourself.
Okay. Okay, so Rishikesh, in your manifesto, you have mentioned the point regarding ARPTAs. So I am not able to understand why are you specifically insisting on ARPTAs, because we already have TAs for various courses running that are run by the department, and so basically you want to have TAs who are catering to specifically these students, the ARP students. And now one thing that I have observed from my personal experience is that even if there are help sessions which are arranged for students, there very few actually attend these. So how do you plan to, incentivize? So how do you plan to, give people the incentive to become ARPTs?
Right. So yeah, answering your first question, that why is there a need for ARPTAs, or basically, as I answered in my previous manifesto debate as well, that the the ARPTAs would be basically focusing on the students who are who are into ARP, and there has been a positive correlation which has been observed with the departments like aerospace, EP, and chemistry, where having ARPTAs for courses has significantly reduced the number of ARP students in that particular course or in that particular department. And hence, I feel that there is a need for having a specific ARPTAs so that the number of ARP students decrease subsequently. Uh, uh, can you please repeat your second question? I didn't get it. What is the second question about?
Yeah, I've asked you to unmute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So my second question, So my follow the second question which I'd asked is that, how would you incentivize people to become ARPTAs? Because in general, what happens is that even if help sessions are conducted for courses, they usually do not see huge turnouts. So how would you, and especially for ARP students who might not be who might not be too willing to reach out to people, how do you plan to incentivize the people to take up this TA-ship?
Correct. So answering. So should I start?
Yes. Start.
Yeah. So yeah, answering the first question, that how would this ARPTAs would be incentivized? So there is a second point mentioned under this ARPTA heading, that I would be exploring various funding streams like the Institute UGTF fund and the Dean ACR office, which is funding for alumni, for the ARPTA stipend. So these students would be this is the way of incentivizing the ARPTAs. And answering the question regarding the attendance or the attendance for these help sessions or these tutorial sessions which would be taken up by these ARPTAs is that I mentioned in my previous answer as well that the ARP mentors, the DM coordinators, the ARP faculty, and the ARP TAs would be well coordinated from a backend perspective, so that the ARP mentees would be telling this or like convincing these students to attend this ARP help session or ARP tutorials because it is for their good, and the ARP faculty and the ARP mentors would be like helping the students understand that this is for them and this would be helpful and useful to them to like to help them clear the backlog and get out of ARP.
Okay. Yeah, that's all.
Anyone else who would want to ask any questions or anything maybe related to manifesto or not related to manifesto, which is not personal, etc. Archishman, I'm lowering your hand if you have some question, please text me. Yeah, Ipsit, please go ahead.
Yeah, this question is regarding the foreign exchange dual degree program that you have proposed. So you might have seen the placement statistics of the dual degree students. So in general, it is really high in almost all the departments and comparably more than that of BTech students. And in today's SOAPBOX session, you were telling that this program focuses on those students who wish to pursue higher studies. So my question is that basically this program impacts very few number of people who do not wish to sit for placements in their final year of DDP or dual degree program. So why have you chosen an initiative which affects very less number of students? What is the incentive?
Right.
And
So
how is
just
it?
a factual correction.
One more. And how is it currently relative for the current batch of students that are studying in the institute? Because the placement statistics from the say past 3-4 years say that most of the dual degree students are sitting for placements than going for higher studies. So how is this currently relevant?
Okay, so the placement statistics do not mention what percentage of students sit for placements out of the dual degree student. It mentions that what percentage of the dual degree students who sat for placements get placed. So the students who are interested in research or pursuing higher studies in the first place do not sit for placements, and hence we do not have a data or any like any proof regarding the same that this program is only for the like a very short audience. And secondly, answering the question regarding like how many students would be interested or like willing to take this up is that this similar thing happens in the chemical department, and in the cohort one of the chemical department saw 3 students going for this foreign exchange dual degree program, and the second cohort which currently got selected, the 6 students applied and 5 students got selected. And if you compare this with the semester exchange statistics, so it is like open for everyone and around 30 students apply per semester and 20 students get selected. And if you see compare this number with the foreign exchange dual degree program for chemicals, so in one semester, in 1 year, we got around 6 applications and 5 selections only from one department, that too for one university. So I think if this is expanded to an institute level, there would be sufficient students who would be interested in like pursuing this and who would be interested in pursuing research under this program.
Ipsit, you have a follow-up on the your question, or should we?
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
I'm lowering your hand.
Yes.
Anyone else who wants to ask any questions? We have 3 more minutes and time for one last question. If anyone want to ask any question. Yeah, Chishman, I've asked you to unmute. This is the last question we will.
Yeah. So this is a follow-up to the ARPTA-ship which I had asked earlier. So when would this ARPTA-ship exactly happen? In between the semesters or during summers when courses are run for backloggers? Because already for summer courses, summer TAs are allotted. So what additional thing do you plan to get out of this ARPTA-ship program?
Right. Currently, currently in my yeah. So should I start?
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So the current plan of action focuses on like having ARPTAs only for the like spring and autumn semesters, because for the summer courses there are already a less number of students who are taking the course, and there are around 1 or 2 TAs which are allotted to this course, and the student like the teaching assistant is to student ratio is quite good or quite high in that in the summer semesters. And hence I propose, like, my plan of action currently includes having ARPTS only for the spring and autumn semester. And if the need be, then this program can be also extended to the summer semester if it is required or there is a need for it.
Okay, so basically you are primarily willing to cater to students during the duration of a normal spring or autumn semester, and not during summers when the backlog, when courses are separately for them. Is that correct?
Right, because yeah, that is correct. But as I mentioned, if the need arises, and during the like the department wise feedback or the audit that I'm planning to have, if the needs suggest that there is a need for having the ARPTS in the summer as well, then it can be taken up in the proposal.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So we are done with all the segments of the soapbox except the last one. So the last one is the closing statement. We have 2 minutes allotted for that. So Rishikesh, do you want to start with your closing statement of the soapbox?
Yes. Thank you, Madhav. So firstly, I would like to thank the Election Commission for this amazing platform, for giving me this amazing platform to put across my thoughts. And also, I'd like to thank the panelists for taking out time for having this discussion with me. And for all of the students who are attending this soapbox, you can find my manifesto on the Gymkhana Elections website. And feel free to reach out to me in case you want to discuss anything or have any doubts with respect to my manifesto. Also, if you feel that something is missing from it, or I haven't addressed to any student need or any student problem, then I'll be more than happy to include it in my plan of action for the tenure if elected. And you can reach out to me through Facebook or WhatsApp. I look forward to interacting with you more in the coming time. Lastly, thank you for patiently listening to us and attending the soapbox. Thank you.